Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report for Monday the 15th of August 2022. I'm Charles Firth and with me today is Dom Knight.
Yes, I am. Hello, Charles. How are you?
Very well. And guess what day it is today, Dom?
It is Monday the 15th of August. You just said.
No. I'm saying it's my son's 14th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't give him an appearance on the podcast as a child labour themed gift.
Actually, what I did get him was a premium subscription to the Chaser Report.
Did you?
$9 a month. You get an ad-free version, plus you get premium episodes every week. So that's pretty good.
I can't imagine your child wanting to spend more time with you listening through headphones. Chaser.com.au/podcast, by the way, if you want to sign up.
But Dom, before we do that, we should just get to the topic of today's episode.
Oh, yes. No, that was nice to hear about your son's birthday.
Which is, I've got some just fantastic news from the world of international finance.
Oh, right. This hasn't been an eclectic episode. What's happening?
Which is that SoftBank, you know that fund of funds?
Yes.
That's run by some Japanese dude.
Matsuhashi Son, I think his name is, yeah.
Who invested billions into WeWork and lost it all. Billions into Uber and has managed to burn that all. And all these different... Airbnb, I think, was another one of his investment. As you may know, the tech bubble has burst in the last 6 months or so. And SoftBank, it's true to say, were long on those sorts of bets, right?
Absolutely.
So guess how much per hour SoftBank has lost in the last quarter.
Wow. See, I just read this amazing book called $1 Billion Loser.
Oh,
which is
yes.
about Adam Newman, the founder of WeWork. Because I'm quite fascinated by WeWork because I joined one in 2019 briefly. And
were you
just
from
for a month and
cult?
No, it was hilariously bad. The spaces weren't too bad, but the actual cult side of it was hilariously stupid.
Yes.
Like they're all just basically having free wine tasting and beer. And anyway.
It was just a drunk cult.
It was basically.
That sounds like my sort of cult.
Yeah, the drinking part was fine, but it was the sort of place where you work if you pretend that you have a startup.
Yes,
It's basically
right.
people who are paying to pretend they have a startup and basically sit around playing ping pong all day. Anyway, it was really interesting. So I got interested in that, and I read the whole story about Masayoshi Son and his investment and all this kind of stuff, and how he got the money largely from places like the Saudis. They put hundreds of billions of dollars into this fund of funds. I think.
Yes.
So I'm just remembering, I think the figure of that fund was something like $100 billion all up that he had to invest.
Yep.
So how much would they have lost given... I reckon per hour.
Per hour. How much money per hour did they lose?
I reckon $5 million.
$10 million per hour, American dollars per hour in the second quarter. To break that down into seconds, that is $3,000 per second.
That's extraordinary. That's an even less successful business than Chaser. I didn't think there was a worse business than this one.
What would you do with $3,000 per second, Dom?
I cannot imagine. And why did we not? The Chaser was very briefly part of the tech bubble, or people tried to buy it in the early days.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I got rung up yesterday by somebody who said, Charles, the future is... This is true. This is honestly true. Charles, the future is in Web 3. Right?
Oh, my God.
I want you to do comedy stunts and we'll make them into Web3
like NFTs?
Mint them, yeah. Or I don't know whether it's NFTs.
But it's like that because Web3 is the blockchain.
Yeah. And his pitch was that actually Web3 is not about NFTs and
well, that's a good start to
blockchains.
the pitch because NFTs, like they were stupid when they started, and now they're clearly stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly dead. Yeah,
but no, his argument was that actually it's about socialism. That essentially Web3 is going to decentralize power in the web, and no longer will Amazon be able to fund all these great TV shows and
Sammy Shah's
Sorry,
Sammy.
Audiobooks.
It's already over.
Yeah.
You've got to do one.
No longer will Apple have a stranglehold over really good television shows and buying up all the latest movies and things like that. No longer will Disney be able to give all this money to movie actors to make movies.
Screw the gatekeepers.
Yeah. Instead, everyone in the future will have 1,000 followers, super fans, who will all be like Patreon-style followers of each creative. And those 1,000 people will pay for the creative product of each person's, creative ideas.
That is a stupid idea I have never heard before. And that also makes me feel, because this podcast has a lot more than 1,000 people listening to it. Are we doing the wrong thing? Have we got too many listeners?
We've got too many
listeners. Too many listeners to be successful in Web 3.0. Dear.
But the whole idea is that it's going to decentralize things because there won't be this agglomeration of capital to be able to spend things on like really high budget, good production values things. Instead, it'll all be like shitty little web videos.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
This reminds me of the blogging revolution. Do you remember how
Yes.
it was like, there are no barriers to entry. Everyone in the world will have a blog. Everyone will start a blog. And everyone will become a content creator.
Yeah.
And the thing that they didn't take
it was true for a while. Everyone had a blog.
And nowadays people wear T-shirts saying, I don't want to hear about your podcast.
Yes.
Particularly people who know us. But one of my colleagues at another job has a T-shirt that's very funny. That's like that. But back then it was, I don't want to hear about your blog. And the thing that this whole theory doesn't take into account is that unfortunately, the vast majority of people do not have interesting insights to write on a blog, which is why Facebook is failing as well, because Facebook is basically a mass blog of what everyone ate, right? And it turns out that's actually not very interesting. Whereas amazingly creative people making really good television shows, turns out that actually is fairly compelling as a pitch.
Well, it doesn't matter, Dom, because that's all just going to be like all that. That's all Web 2.0. That's all going to be blown away and replaced with
whatever this is.
with whatever Web 3 is.
Hey, why 1,000? Why is 1,000 the magic number? Like, does that seem sustainable?
I don't think he thought I was very successful, to be honest.
I know 1,000 people, right? During the course of my life, I would have met 1,000 people. But I hate to say this, but I reckon the vast majority of those 1,000 people do not want to pay me money for content because I've already asked them. I've written books. I've pitched in the books.
I think it's like, you get 1,000, it's plausible. If you get $5 per month from 1,000 people, that's $5,000 a month.
But if everyone in the world is doing this model, where's the money coming from? In order to, like, if my business, it just doesn't make any sense. I want to be the person, Charles. This isn't. You know what the point?
What we should do? We should centralize all those agglomerations of cash into, say, some large organisation that just collect.
Like a network, maybe a social network.
Yeah, a social network. Look, call it, I don't know, the Facebook or something. And then those central people can take those bits of cash, combine it together, and actually produce something that people actually want to watch. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, but also we've actually tested everyone in creating content, and it's worth nothing because that's what Instagram and Facebook and that's what those things are. They're literally sites where everyone produces content pretty much that wants to, and they're worth nothing. They're worth something to the company that owns them, but the users get fuck all. Like if you make a TikTok,
but that's his point. That's his point. That they're all a rip-off because the users don't get paid for their out of focus shots.
Good luck putting the genie back in that bottle. That's like the newspapers going, "Hey, we should have got paid for those articles and giving them away for free." You know what I want to be though, Charles? This is giving me an idea.
What?
I want to be the person who steals that idea about the 1,000 users and sells it to the SoftBank guy because I'm sure he'll fund it.
He'll give you $3,000 a second for it.
The Chaser Report. Now with extra whispers.
He obviously couldn't have his birthday celebrations today because he's got to go to school. So we had his birthday celebrations over the weekend. Guess what we did all week? Guess what he did all weekend?
I don't want to stereotype your son, who's a complicated, nuanced individual with a huge range of interests, who, I wouldn't want to make assumptions
Yes.
from the fact that he's a teenage boy and the kind of things that A, teenage boys do now, and B, I know he does. I'm going to guess gaming, Charles. I'm going to guess something involving screens.
Yes. So this is the complications of being a teenager in 2022, right? Which is he's got a whole lot of friends who he games with, right? He games with every night. They all get online and they play. And so we were saying to him, for weeks we've been saying, why don't you invite them round and you can hang out together? And he goes, but I don't want to hang out with them. I want to hang out with them online. All their computers are at home. I don't want to have a party because then they won't be online gaming.
Right. So because he only enjoys talking to them while they're simultaneously physically distant playing a game together, but not a kind of game you'd play in a room, like not a board game or an imaginative game, only a computer game.
So this has been going on now for basically 2.5 years, right? So this crucial stage of his social development has happened when most of the time it was illegal for him to catch up with his friends.
Yeah.
So it's totally understandable the way that he would prefer to interact with his very good friends. He's very social. He's a very pro-social character, is to not actually see them. So we had to force him. We actually said, no, we insist that you have some sort of physical catch-up. So on Saturday night, we went to his favourite chicken place down the street. All his friends came along for about an hour and a half, and they'd been playing games all day together. They caught up.
IRL. In real life.
Yeah. And then all pissed off back to their houses so that they could then get online and chat and catch up some more, but in their
own way. Charles, good on you, because that is the one thing that you can't do while you're gaming, is that you can't enjoy a delicious meal of chicken.
Yes.
Like the one thing you could possibly have allowed them, I'm going to take... So they pictured as I'm going to take a brief break from the gaming to eat.
Yes.
We'll just be in the same place. It'll be a bit weird.
It'll be a bit weird.
But we'll do it anyway because we all like the same chicken. I know the chicken you mean. It's very good chicken.
Yeah, very nice.
And then we'll go back home and normality will reassert itself. This is a bit... can't work out whether this is just more evolved than we were as teenagers, or if it's a bit sad, because I'm remembering what I used to do, school holidays, weekends, whatever.
Yes.
When I was 15, and that was I would go and meet my friends, including Chaz from The Chaser, at the town hall steps. Because you wouldn't be able to choose a time.
And you'd wait.
You'd have to wait.
Wait for hours.
Because you didn't know if they were late or if they were sick or whatever it was. There was no way of contacting you.
Yeah.
And then you'd go and see a movie down the road at the multiplex.
Yes.
And you'd have McDonald's.
Yes.
And every aspect of that experience pretty much is shitter than playing a game with your friends at home, because the games are far more stimulating. Like, you can actually do things. You're not just sitting there looking at some sitcom, some comedy.
And it's called five stacking, the way because there's 5 of them, right? And when all 5 are online, they have this team and they go out into these multiplayer worlds and they know each other's moves, and then they've got whole strategies for killing people. They've become very proficient at killing a whole lot of other people.
And we never did that, right?
No.
As teenagers, I never killed anyone, not even a virtual digital asset. I never killed anyone. I was just looking at a screen passively. I mean, occasionally we'd go to the games arcade, right? We'd go to the time zone, or there was a thing called Westworld back then, and it was basically a pedophile grooming salon. It was a grooming salon for pedophiles to groom kids. And it was very expensive, and it was much worse than sitting at home with a nice, beautiful, fast computer.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know about you, but when I was a 14-year-old, you'd sleep in, wouldn't you? Like,
you'd sleep in a lot.
You'd be a bit mopey and dopey and, have a bit of angst and sort of thing. Hartley has never been like that. Like, the other day, Apex, which is one of the games that they play, Apex Legends, updated their season. So they got a whole lot of new things in the world. And it was a weeknight. But he asked, he said, look, they're updating. It'll come live at 5 a.m. Can I get up to be one of the first people in the world to see this
No
new.
way. A teenage boy wanted
Yeah.
to get up at 5
And
a.m.
he got
voluntarily.
Up he got up voluntarily. He did it all himself. Got up at 5 a.m. Like this. Like I think it's just better.
Don't take this the wrong way, but can you send Hartley next time? And obviously, like dialing in remotely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you're fine, but I can't 5-stack with you.
Or if we did, we'd be cancelled immediately.
Can you? Yeah, it's true. Can you imagine how awkward it would be for Hartley if you and I both just popped into his game like, hi?
I have done that on occasion. He thinks it's hilarious when I come in because I always go breaker because you're on the cans.
You're on the headphone headsets,
and
yeah.
you sound a bit like you're over a helicopter
To
headset or something.
us, because we're old.
And when you go breaker, and it's like, Dad,
you're
you
just
don't
so
need to say that. And it's like, I know I don't need to say it.
But congratulations, Charles, for keeping up with your son's hobbies and working out a way to be incredibly embarrassing in the digital space.
Oh yeah. No, you got to keep progressing these things as a parent.
What do you reckon? Should we briefly go for chicken and then go and stare at our screens?
Yeah, definitely. You go to your house, I'll go to my house.
Yep. See you online. Our Gears from Road. We're part of the Acast Creator Network. We'll catch you tomorrow.